Three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. He just sits there and looks pretty.
This is the O-Line Committee.
When Alex, 10 seconds before turning on the microphone, says about today's topic, by the way, which is quarterback sneaks. When Alex says, hey, can I tell you guys a pet peeve about quarterback sneaks? And Jeremiah are like, yes. Do you want to do it now? Do you want to just start the episode with your pet peeve about quarterback sneaks? Then we can do a film breakdown?
All right. I don't know if this is like bothers Jeremiah as much as it does me, but I hate when people try to do a quarterback sneak and they do it from like the pistol or the gun. Does that not bother you too?
That's not a sneak.
Yeah.
That's a quarterback dive. That's not a quarterback sneak. You cannot even classify that in the same category.
The same thing. There's so many people doing it that
it is
dude,
quarterback
it's the new
dive.
offense.
Stop it.
It's
that
the
is
way
not
the
a quarterback sneak. No, that is a quarterback dive.
Okay,
no one gets in the huddle
is,
and goes pistol.
It's
quarterback sneak. Are you? No, that's not how that works.
Quarterback at zero. Pistol, quarterback at zero, and you'd be like, what?
That's
Dude,
okay. That's very different than QB sneak on one.
Okay, then here it
QB
is.
sneak on
if you're
one.
You're gonna QB sneak it. Why not just put the dude's hand under the center's ass, or he's that much closer to the first down? Why does he have to catch a ball in the air and then just run straight ahead? That's my pet peeve.
That's not a quarterback sneak. You're talking about two completely different plays.
But why would you? So this is, by the way, you're encroaching on dumb football question territory. This was my dumb football question for this film review. Is like when teams do whatever you want to call it, a quarterback dive from a pistol or a sneak. If you have 1 yard to gain or a half yard to gain, why would you start the quarterback 5 yards off the line of scrimmage?
My point exactly. My whole point exactly. That's my
the
whole
only
point
time it makes sense is if you're running it with a running back out of.
It's called a draw.
No, stupid. I'm talking about when the running back catches out of the wildcat. That's the only time it makes any sense. And he's running some type of zone read off of it or some type of misdirection.
Not even the same
or
play. You just
it's
said
a lead.
zone read.
Or it's a lead play where the quarterback or the running back catches it and he's got another halfback or a fullback next to him that leads dead on. That's the only time it makes sense.
We're not even talking about the same play. You said
that's the same thing as when the quarterback lines up in the back.
Catching the ball. Why do we have this guy catch a ball? If it's not a draw where everyone's trying to drop and get out of his way and then he can find a lane. Instead, they'll just catch it and they all just cram in there. Dude, I think the Ravens run it like every other third down. It drives me nuts. Why are you not putting his hands under the center's ass and just running with him? Like, go.
Well, this brings me to a point, and I'll talk about this as we get into it.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, man.
Listen! This brings me to another point. The college football game is destroying the quarterback sneak because no one in college football goes under center anymore. Right? So you talk about it, and I think we're going to watch a clip from the Bills game that played the Vikings this year where Josh Allen fumbles the ball in a quarterback sneak under center, backed up, and they lose the game. But all of these quarterbacks now, and I hear it time and time again when I'm talking to guys, they're like, they don't know how to take under center snaps. It's not something that they've done. There's some quarterbacks that have literally never done it. Not one time from high school.
They've never felt the warm embrace of a center's ass.
They've never felt a sweaty gooch of a center's ass before.
You're missing out.
And I mean, it shows because you can't live in shotgun in the NFL. You can't do it. You have to go under center. And I think that's part of why you're seeing these teams that are trying to be like, okay, how do we get a 3rd and 1 if we can't put a guy under center because it's a critical situation. The center's going to have a guy all over top of him. The quarterback's got to catch the snap, lean forward. Like, it's a dying art because of what college football has turned into.
Yeah. God, imagine going your whole life as a quarterback until like the age of 24 and never feeling a drop of sweat come down from the back of your offensive lineman's tailbone.
Dude, that's pathetic to me. That's sad. And it sounds like it's the same pet peeve that you have. The game is changing into this thing where it's like shotgun, pistol, shotgun. And you're like, dude, eventually someone's got to put his hands under there and make this real or else it's not going to be as fun as before.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Well, you guys, the audience, have stumbled into the only show in America where a fan gets to sit down and ask dumb questions to two former NFL offensive linemen, Phil Mackey, Jeremiah Sirles, Alex Boone. And today's topic, as you can guess, is all about the art of the quarterback sneak. When it goes right, when it goes wrong. We're going to start with some Eagles stuff because the Eagles have basically become so great at quarterback sneaking that the league is maybe going to consider getting rid of that version of the play. I brought some quarterback sneak stats to the table here today. That's right. There are quarterback
PFF.
Sneak stats.
PFF greatest. Here we go.
So there was an NFL record 308 quarterback sneaks in the National Football League last year. 83% success rate on QB sneaks. The Eagles had a 90% success rate, 37 of 41. And by the way, we know that because this is like our 6th film review, I want to say. This is a new channel here on YouTube, the O-Line Committee. And we have a bunch of Eagles fans from like one of the first videos we put out there. So if you guys could spread the word to whether you're an Eagles fan, Giants, whatever team you're a fan of, click that subscribe button and the like button so we can spread the word and the gospel of the offensive line lifestyle. Do you guys want to dive into the film here right away? Okay.
Yes.
Can't fight this guy anymore.
We'll talk as we go.
Here we go.
You're fighting an uphill battle because you know I'm right.
Oh, been there. Look at this picture. Oh, brings back so many fun memories.
This looks like
right?
This looks like 1997 Nebraska Cornhuskers right here running the wing tee.
That is a wing tee right there. Look at that thing. That's as old school quarterback sneak as you can. Look at that. Just guys breaking their faces open for 1 yard. You know what the worst is though? When you don't get it and you're like, oh my God, I got to walk off the field now. Because you know you're about to get your ass ripped open. Look at those 3 guys. Oh,
I mean, so the number one thing with the quarterback sneak, the very first thing is it starts with the center. Yes. You have to have a center that can snap the football while going forward, right, which is a hard thing to do. But that then becomes, like I just talked about beforehand, as the center's moving forward, the quarterback has to be moving with him. So many times when you see a fumbled exchange on a quarterback sneak, it's because the center is firing off. I mean, look at Kelsey here. He's on both of his toes. The guards are in sprinter stances, right? They all look like they're about to run a 40. They're going to be moving forward as fast as humanly possible with power at the snap of the ball. Watch as Jalen Hurts rolls with him, right? He doesn't have the ball, and he's already moving forward, right? At set hut, you see him. See how he's already moving forward, right? He doesn't take any wasted movement, no steps back. He's moving forward, and then the push here. This is the thing I think the NFL is trying to get outlawed because it just looks like a rugby scrub.
So has this been legal the whole time? Like Sean Payton came out and said, now that I'm a coach again, unless they outlaw this, we're just going to do this like 15 times a game. So
there used to be a rule that you couldn't advance players, but I thought it was only that you couldn't pull them. You're not allowed to physically pull them, but you can always get behind somebody and push them forward. The problem is, go back here. There's a hole here over Lane Johnson, and this is their biggest problem is that you have, I think that's Isaac at right guard. I don't know, is that Lowry across
Isaac
from him?
Sulamalu.
Yeah,
is that Dean Lowry right over his teeth?
That's a mismatch. Like Isaac's a big, strong dude. He's just gonna mash this whole wall down. But at the same time, there's a big void here, right in that hole, and that's exactly where he's gonna. They call it riding the wave. He's just gonna ride the wave all the way through to find a hole right there. See that little crease, and then the push from behind gets him through here. And that's really on Green Bay. That's their fault. They should have had somebody there.
Back it up a little bit. If you back it up to right after the snap, so the whole idea of a quarterback sneak is you're building a wedge, right? So pause it right there. Right, you're either going to pick the right A gap or the left A gap. It's never straight ahead. You always want to find an apex at one of the wedges, right? So here you can tell they're going to the right, right? So you can see everyone's leaning in. The idea is you have no leaks in the dam, right? None, right? You want to be shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, moving forward with no leaks in the dam. Penetration is the only thing that can kill this, right? So you see they're all right there. That's as beautifully executed as you can. Lane Johnson gets in here and covers up. He's got a DB standing in the B gap. Right, that's the mismatch. So it's like, okay, yeah, we'll just go right there, right? The guy over the left tackle takes the easy way out. They could have got this either way. Either side they wanted to push this to, they're getting this first down.
And
is this fun, by the way, for you guys?
Oh, of course
Absolutely.
it is, because there's no laws in there. There's no rules. There's no like 6-inch step. It's literally like fire off the ball and hit whatever's in front of you. But the nice thing about this is, and a lot of people probably don't know this, is the quarterback at the last second will always tell you which way he's going. Mm-hmm. They'll give you an R word or an L word. So he's always kind of letting you know which way he's going to go.
As the ball's being snapped? Because
right before the snap, white 80, river, white 80's hut, and all of a sudden you just know he's going to the right, and you're waiting to hear which way he's coming.
Yeah, river and lake was always what we used.
And that doesn't matter for the defense. If the defense hears that a split second before, it probably doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
There's nothing to do.
It doesn't matter. What are they going to do, lean one way or the other?
Yeah,
Still
let's see what happens here.
Gap integrity.
I love how they just keep everybody so close to the quarterback here. See, they have the same pet peeve as I do. I love Philly. We got to bring that coach on here. That dude's a badass too.
Doug Marrone?
No,
it's Stoutland. It's Jeff Stoutland.
Stoutland. I mean, he was going crazy this year. So this year, right here, go back. This is pretty squared up right here. See how there's 2 guys in the gaps?
Yeah, see, so the difference, Green Bay tried to put 3 over the center, right? So now
everyone has a different defense for this.
Indy's like, okay, we're just going to eat up both A gaps. We're going to keep both linebackers in the B gap. and then we're just going to try and eat up that wedge, right? So now is one where they might just say, hey, we're just going to pick a side and go. It doesn't matter, right? I think they'll probably be like, hey, let's go away from DeForest Buckner, right? Like, he's their monster. So I'm going to guess that they just wedge here and they just go on the right side again here. The other thing, too, what makes a great quarterback sneak, is when none of the offensive linemen are on the ground right away.
Yeah,
so many times you see offensive linemen like lunge instead of step, right? When they just lunge, you're just meeting force with force, but then you're going to walk right down. Watch 56's right foot. Go back and watch 56's right foot. Like, it's gaining so much ground. There's so much power in that step.
That's DeForest, too.
Yeah, right. Boom, wedge. Him. You can see it pad under pad. You see they're both under his helmet. That's such an offensive line term. Pad under pad, right? You can see DeForest Buckner's helmet's above theirs, pad level. And then you can see since Lane Johnson has no one in his gap, he just gets in there and pushes. Right? Push. He just gets behind. He's like, I'm just going to push. He just turns into another pusher. And then they keep Devontae. They keep the skinny guy in the back for just in case. They're like, you just keep your little butt back here.
Look how far this moves. So you can see the line of scrimmage is what, the 49-yard line here. It's
probably just, let's say it's the 49.
They're lined up just on the other side of the halfway mark of the horseshoe on the helmet here. And then when the play ends, look at this. Look how far this pile.
Watch where you see Kelsey pop out. Kelsey's at the 45 when he finally rolls over.
He's 5 yards up. Look at him. He's right there. He's rolling over.
He rolls over right there at the 45-yard line. This is the stuff that the sneak does. Look at this linebacker. Hands on his hips. Like, did that really just happen? Like, did they really? That was 3rd and 1, and they just gained 6. Like, you could tell, too, he's trying to push the D tackle. Like, help. He's trying to push, and he just gets both arms. Just yeah, that should be a penalty, pushing on the other side. That's actually a penalty. You're not
which
is why the NFL, like, defenses are so pissed, because they're like, we're not allowed to push on field goal anymore. Why are they allowed to push on QB sneak? So
that was the worst, though.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Literally, the coaching point was grab grass and hold on.
Hold on for dear life.
It's like, hey, you got 2 pushers over here. Just grip your little hands into the earth and hope nothing happens.
By the way, Jalen Hurts seems like he has a knack for it, too. But if you'll notice here, this is Eagles-Cowboys, and Gardner Minshew is the quarterback in this situation.
By the way, am I the only one that's super hot right now about this? This O-line is just mashing every
Is this turning you on right now,
look at
Alex?
This. Literally, look at this. There's somebody in every gap. You know what play it is. You know the snap count, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. That doesn't make you.
And you're on the goal line, so it's super loud, right?
Parsons. Look at that.
Here's the thing.
Look at Jordan Mailata. Go back. He doesn't even get tackled.
Watch PAT.
Well, let's watch the PAT, actually.
No, we hate PAT. We don't watch
PAT's
that.
the worst playing.
Here we go. Number 1, look how close everyone's splits are. Like, remember how Jeremiah said you never want to break in the dam. You have to be shoulder to shoulder to start, and you are itching for that snap. I mean, the minute that ball moves, you are flying off the ball. And then remember what Jeremiah said is important is a lot of guys fall down right away. They're like, oh, coach, look what I did. But look at these guys. They're all gaining ground. And see how the defense is falling down? I love when they fall down because that's when we talked about last week, those dog piles. That's when all that nastiness is going on. But at the same time, ride the wave. So just keep driving in the back and you'll see him. He squirts out right here to the left. Just ride the wave. I would follow Jordan Mailata too.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. Watch Micah Parsons here, right? So many times you see guys like, okay, how do I stop this? I'll try and do the old school Troy Polamalu where I come flying over the top, right? We want them to jump because if you jump, guess what you don't have? You have no force in the ground. You are no longer a factor. You might stop his initial movement, right? He gets him, but then there's 3 guys pushing you. You have nothing to stop that force. You're just on top of bodies just getting pushed, right? So that's what guys started trying to do is jump over the top, and it was just completely ineffective all year long.
I love the celebration here from Gardner. Got to get up. Yeah, ride that wave. Look at him.
Yep. Just ride it.
Hey, what's going through your guy? I mean, obviously, like you're playing football, so your adrenaline's pumping, your heart's racing. Like you're probably frothing for 3 hours. But what specifically is going through your mind and body as an offensive lineman? Everyone's lined up. They know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Like in the 2 or 3 seconds right before the ball is snapped, what's going through your mind and body?
Nothing.
Good luck.
You are the most free you've ever been in your life. And
there's no rules.
I'm telling you, it is the greatest feeling in the world to know that no matter what you do, the next 10 seconds has to happen. Like, you're like, I'm in this. I am in this fight. No matter what, this is going to happen. And all I know is you better score. Because if you don't, we have to do this again. Okay, and this is the best I got.
Is the
I'm
second
giving you
one?
my
Is
best
everyone?
shot.
Are you out of gas after the first one, and now you have to
No,
try?
but then
second
all of a
one?
sudden, like if you're on the goal line and you're trying to sneak it in there and you don't get it the first time, then all of a sudden you have to be worried about movement the second time. Are they going to do an outlaw? Are they going to slant? And then all of a sudden, is it going to be a different defense? Are we going to do it? Like it's just so much. That's like, guys, let's all just go out here and beat the shit out of this front line and let this dude just put the ball over the line. Like it's that simple. And then you don't do it, and you look over and you see Mike Zimmer looking at you like.
I'll say this though, like
can't wait for you to come off the field.
people like to talk about like the big collision hits over the middle of the field when guys are running full speed. The impact on a quarterback sneak is loud. I mean, it is 5 bodies against 5 other bodies. I mean, and it is literally all the force that you've put in the weight room that you've done for your training your whole life. You're trying to meet that to another person and then hit the stalemate and then get one more foot in the ground, and that's the win. I mean, the collision is so loud. I can remember hearing quarterback sneaks, like, because it's just a universal all at once, just bang. Right?
It's
like
a crunch, yeah.
The force that is being put into those piles would crush cars. I mean, it would crush cars.
And you know who the problem was most of the time? It was the tight ends. It was the guys on the outside.
Hate tight ends.
I just can't stand the fact that they don't put their faces in these blocks anymore, or the receiver out. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, nobody knows it was your fault. They all think it was our fault. Okay, thanks, bud.
Go catch the 9 round.
Go drop 5 more passes, why don't you? Jesus Christ, you're worthless. You are worthless to me in this team.
Which tight ends in today's NFL do you? I mean, George Kittle will put his head in there
Okay,
once
first
now,
of all,
right?
we all know I love George Kittle. He is clearly at the top.
Yeah.
Darren Waller, huge fan.
I think back to guys like Jimmy Graham, right? Jimmy Graham used to be like he kind of like feel his way in there. Like it's like, no, dude, run as fast as you can off the ball. And even some of these newer tight ends, like, I mean, I think of a guy like Dalton Kincaid, came from Utah, right? They're like, oh, he's a great blocker. I'm like, he's 230 pounds. He's going to get bench pressed back into the line of scrimmage by Danielle Hunter if he doesn't figure his life out. Right? Like, that's why you see so many times, like, I used to go in as a 6'0" lineman. Like, if we did quarterback sneak, they'd bring in an extra lineman at tight end. Like, why not have one wedge, get one more fat body in there? Right? So, I mean, you see more and more times they'll go an extra lineman because you don't want guys that are skinny unless you have a Gronkowski or a Kyle Rudolph or a 260, 270-pound tight end.
Gronk.
You just don't usually want to bring those guys in.
I mean, you guys saw the combine this year. Remember when they showed the sleds of the tight ends trying to hit the sleds, and they were like, "No, really, hit it." And they were like, "No, for real, hit the sled." And they're like, I can't.
Yeah,
coach.
then you saw that Georgia created player, the 99 created player out of Georgia.
Okay. All right, here he is, the goat
all right,
himself.
boys. The next one here, we have the greatest quarterback sneaker in NFL history. I don't know if there's stats to back that up, but Tom Brady.
To be fair, it's only because everyone's afraid to touch Tom. Like, everybody was literally like, you tackle him. No, you tackle him. No, you hit him. You hit him. And did anyone else see that he's on a spokesman for Hertz now?
Did you see
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Did you see he owns the part of the Raiders now too?
What the hell are you doing on a Hertz commercial then, dude? You own an NFL
and now
team.
there's some steam, man. Jimmy Garoppolo's foot is
Oh, you
bad.
know he's going to be the quarterback. Come on, get out of here.
Do you imagine if he played for a team he owned?
He will. Just watch.
So this is a classic example of I don't think this was quarterback sneak to get called, right? So I'm assuming this is 3rd and 1, right?
Yep.
I think Tom Brady comes up here and he's going, okay, hey, 3rd and 1. Hey,
see that gap right there?
River, set hut, right?
Oh,
like
baby.
He sees the gap. They're in a under defense here. Like there's an A gap open. So he just comes up here and says river and just snaps it and sneaks it because he sees that he can get the first down here.
By the way, he only did, and maybe the Cardinals were onto something here because as I was looking through trying to find quarterback sneaks, I think he only had 4 or 5 all season. It's not like he's 44, 45 years old. He's not looking to put his body in that pile like maybe 10 or 15 years ago. He's got a life to live the next 30, 40 years. So maybe they thought, hey, he's only done this twice all year, right?
Yep. This is one, like, if you're with Tom Brady, the Eagles are one thing. They're going to do it no matter what. But Tom Brady here, I guarantee you that there's a kill on with this play to where let's say it was called a quarterback sneak. And if they came out with double A gaps, they'd probably kill it to another play. Or if it came up here and they're like, hey, we have another play that's killed to a quarterback sneak, that's the only way they did it with Tom anymore. I don't think it was ever a truly called quarterback sneak with him anymore. I think it was all checks.
Yeah, there's no way he's 2 A gaps in there. He's like, I'm pitching it.
But look, watch Tristan Wirfs here. This is This is what you call selling out for the cause. He knows he has the B gap. There's no one there. He's like, I'm still just going to run with low pad level off the B gap and hope someone shows up. And he just hits no one and falls 6 yards down the field.
I got him. Hey, he's cutting 51. Are you kidding me? He was going to cut that linebacker.
Dude, just run full speed and kill him.
Nah, dude. Come on. You got to sell it. Got him. Saved a life. Just the worst. Love him.
What a savage.
Clearly one of the best right tackles in the league.
So, all right, you asked specifically to see a sort of a train wreck quarterback sneak, a quarterback sneak gone wrong.
And we've talked about this one.
I don't know. Yeah, Boone, you and I doing Purple Daily film breakdowns. I mean, this was obviously one of the biggest plays of the season for the Vikings. And so this is about as wrong as it can go, because it's not just like a failed first down or a safety. It was a touchdown that extended this game. The game was over.
Yeah.
If Jeremiah will think the same thing that I thought, because I remember what I thought about this.
What, they should have went and gun and ran it up the middle?
No, don't do that. No, you'll see it as the play happens. Something happens in my mind that I'm like, this is probably what.
Well, so they kill it to a sneak. So go all the way back, right? You see, like, this is one where a play was called, and I promise you, they said if there's an A gap open, kill it to a sneak.
But real quick for the audience too, this was. I mean, if they weren't on the doorstep of their own end zone, this was a kneel down. So the Vikings actually failed on a quarterback sneak the play before this, which we could have probably done that breakdown too. And the Bills are winning the game here. The Vikings have no timeouts. They just have to take a knee, but they can't because they're in the end zone. So how do they get a yard? So there's the kill.
That's right.
There
so
it is right there.
They know it's quarterback sneak. Now go to the end zone.
I love how the lineman comes popping out untouched.
First of all, before you go back one more time. Before we go back to look at the end zone, remember what we saw earlier of how big of that wedge and how much yards it gained with the Eagles. Watch how there's no movement. There's breaks in the dam and there's no wedge point for the Bills. Right, play it out here. Right, there's no forward movement by the Bills O-line here. Nothing. Oof. Right, guys on the ground like we talked about. There's Spencer Brown on the ground, like all of it. So that's just one thing to look at. Now go to the back end.
Should never come out of that thing untouched. You should be bringing someone with you.
Right. So why not do what the Eagles do in this spot and put 3 dudes behind Josh Allen and just shove him for 2 yards?
I don't think anyone was really thinking about that at this time.
Right. So he comes up here. He sees that it's quarterback sneak, but Harrison Phillips.
He got it.
Yeah.
Harrison Phillips.
That's exactly what I said.
And I will say this: don't forget who played in Buffalo the year before.
That's also what I said.
Yeah, Boone nailed this. God, you guys, this is
we
calculus,
think the exact
man.
same. I'm telling you, Mackey.
Right.
This is calculus.
So he lines up here. Josh Allen says, "Hey, open A gap." Right.
So 97 for the audience. 97 here. Played for the Buffalo Bills for 4 years before this game.
Correct. As I was with him as a rookie. He's a smart player. He played at Stanford. Right. So he comes up here. He hears Josh Allen probably come up there and go, "Hey, kill, Lake. So at the last second, right? At the last second, they're thinking, okay, we're gonna go to this left A gap, and you can see
you're wedging off of that.
They're
trying
wedging
to
off
open
of
that up.
As he comes across here, you see Harrison shift late. Boom,
Genius.
right there. And also, what did I tell you about moving forward, right? Josh Allen isn't moving forward. Josh Allen's standing straight up, right? What we see with Tom Brady, what we see with Jalen Hurts, forward movement, right? Josh Allen's standing straight up. Now you don't see the wedge. I will say, if you go back, the left guard falls down, right? He gets no movement. Look how tall he is. Watch how tall the left guard gets here at the snap of the ball. Right, you can see we talk about pad under pad, helmet under helmet. Like, he gets this guy right into his legs, which destroys the wedge. Right, you can see it right at the snap, right there. He's not winning the line of scrimmage battle.
No,
right, he's not winning it. And now we talk about critical situations. We talk about a team that's not under center a whole lot. Right, Josh Allen lives in the gun, and now you talk about a center that's got now 2 guys in his A gap. Right, there's Eric Kendricks, there's Harrison Phillips. So as he's snapping, he gets the ball up. This is not the center's fault. And you will always blame the center, but you can see really clearly the ball is there. Like, if you go right to when he snaps it, right there. The ball gets there. The ball is where it needs to be. Now, what I will say is he's not moving anywhere, right? What do we see Kelsey? Kelsey's firing off forward. And I'm not bashing on Mitch Morris, but like, he's not moving anywhere, which is why you see him get buckled backwards. Right, he gets buckled backwards. Nowhere to go. So now you're talking about a fumble, game changer. Like, this is why, if you're not used to doing quarterbacks under center for sneaks, it's really hard to go to one in a critical situation.
To be fair, though, when Harrison Phillips switched over to the other side, that would have screwed up a lot of people, especially in that situation to win the game. You know, you got to come out like it's a simple can, lake. And at the very last second, right there, that movement would have had all of us like, oh,
well, Booney, if you're in the left guard mind here, like,
we're going down. We're
right,
cramming, dude.
But
we're moving.
Initially, you're thinking I'm gonna be a little heavier on this 3 technique.
Right, I'm gonna be it. I'm thinking true B right here to Kendricks right now because, like I said before, once he says Lake, take it back, Mackey. We're thinking go all the way back to the right there. We're thinking true B and a true A. That is it. We're stepping together. We're root hogging these two out of here and let Josh just try and come through the middle. Now you do have Kendricks, so you're gonna try and you see him walking around. You're gonna be like, dude, I'm gonna hit and go. But the minute that he does this from left side to right side, it puts that guard and that center in a big bind because now you're taking on, especially the guard, you're taking on 2 people.
And the tackle, right?
Yeah.
Deion Dawkins here, right? If you're Deion Dawkins, you're thinking I have my guard help, so I don't have to get in there as much. Where if there's a true A-gap threat, like if Eric Kendricks is standing in the A-gap, Deion Dawkins, the left tackle for the Bills, his helmet has to be at least past the midline of this 3 technique.
Yes.
And here you see he's on the back half of it when the ball's snapped, right? It's because he's thinking it's more of a B. So this is just a really nice job by Harrison Phillips. Really poor execution by Josh and Mitch Morris here on this quarterback center exchange, which leads to costing games in critical situations.
I mean, this is trenches porn, dude. Like it's ridiculous. This is one of the greatest. If this played out, and there's no reason to think that it doesn't play out exactly how you guys are explaining it here, it's one of the most unheralded, uncredited, great plays by a defensive lineman that you'll ever see. Just it's IQ, but then there's the physical nature of it. But it's one thing too on the Bills side. Okay, so Harrison Phillips sniffs it out. He moves across the face of the center, and now he's got leverage. But it's another thing, like worst case, it's a safety, and the game still continues. But for it to wind up flustering them so much that the snap gets dropped and then the Vikings recover too, like that's the thing. I mean,
you got to think Josh Allen's eyes are where? Initially, he's looking at an empty A-gap, and all of a sudden and in the middle of his cadence, he sees that too. His eyes are now focused elsewhere, right? His eyes are looking there, and so he's not as focused on getting the snap. He's thinking, oh, shoot, he moved left. I probably have to grab this and then maybe slide back right side, hut, and then it's over, right? Like lack of focus for a millisecond in the NFL costs you games. It just does.
Oh, does it? Does it cost you games? How about does it cost you a season? Ooh, the fact that these guys got to keep their job almost surprises me. I'm not even kidding you. This is the dumbest damn thing I ever heard. I didn't know he had to spot the ball every play. What do you think he touches it for?
So,
stupid.
Couple things here. This is obviously this is not a quarterback sneak. It's a quarterback draw, but it brings up a bunch of fun questions for you guys, and we could probably do more of like a clock management episode at some point where we just focus on that and 2-minute drill and stuff. But
we'll be showing a lot of Larry Fitzgerald. That's for sure.
Oh.
He always brought the ball right back to the official. Always.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. So this is the Cowboys 49ers playoff game from like a year and a half ago. And this is the CBS telecast. So credit to them if we get slapped on the back of the hand. Thanks for letting us review this
Thanks, Tony.
clip.
Bad boy.
But
Thanks,
so there's
Tony.
14 seconds left. And by the way, down and distance doesn't really matter here with 14. They have to score a touchdown. And there's 14. It is a 2nd and 1, but obviously the Niners have 3 guys on the line of scrimmage here because, it's not a sneak. But I'll run this. You guys talk us through from the criticism was, why would you run this play with no timeouts and 14 seconds left?
Bad. This is bad ball.
Because Kellen Moore's a genius. First of all, the reason this didn't work is because we used to call this a church situation, which meant get down, right? Down, like kneel at church, right? This is one where the Mayday rule. So I know you need a touchdown, but the Mayday rules, in order to get a playoff in the NFL, you need 14 or 13 seconds.
13.
Right? So if you roll it back to the start of this, right, that means it's at 19 seconds. There's no chance unless he goes like this, unless he runs to the 40 to the 39-yard line and falls down and all these other receivers know that's happening. Right there, he takes a knee, you might be able to get a second playoff. You might. But it's second down. This is just a dumb play.
But dude, also, what would there not be? Here's another dumb football question for you guys. So I'm at the 40-yard line, and there's 14 seconds left, no timeouts, and it's second down. I might have time for 3 passes into the end zone with my second, third, fourth. So my first pass takes 6 seconds, 7 seconds. maybe let's call it 2 plays, maybe 3. Would I not be mathematically better just taking 3 shots into the end zone than trying to run a play and you're setting up a Hail Mary anyways?
Or you throw it to number 20 out here if you run all the way back. You throw it to 20 out here.
Not even anything crazy. I still don't understand how this play got off, ran. This whole conundrum, and nobody got fired.
He's going to snap the ball here, and no one's going to.
Yeah, the ref's like, dude, I got to spot it.
Has to touch it.
Because look, you're too far ahead of where the chain is.
Yeah.
That's why they
people ripping on this ref, but
it's not the ref's fault. The ref has to touch the ball.
Yeah.
Dude, what would happen if he didn't touch that ball?
Play is not started until the ball is snapped.
Dude, could
That's
you
just
imagine
a dumb football play.
Could you imagine if he didn't set that ball and they're playing Bill Belichick?
Oh my god!
He'd be like, dude.
But this is what DBs and this is what defense is taught too. Is like lay on the
right there.
guy.
Oh, is he really going to
see that?
Yeah,
that's what they know. Really, they tell them that. They tell them, do not get off of them.
Here, can you close the bar down there? I saw it just for a second. There's 7 seconds left.
Got
right?
the cowboy hat on here. Right
7 seconds, right? I don't know if we can see it.
Let me see if I can close this. Let me see if I can use technology in a way that
technology.
Even right here,
but
dude.
the fact that there's 7 seconds left, there is a 0% chance that you can get a playoff. It's impossible. It's impossible because you have to have the ball set for a full second before you snap it. So there's 1.
Really have 6.
It's impossible if you don't have more. 13 seconds is the.
And I would even argue, okay, let's say there's 17 seconds left. What is the value of going from the 40 to the 25 and wasting a shot into the end zone?
Nope, not worth it. Dumb football.
See, sometimes the idiot fan screaming on his couch, 1 out of every 10 is right.
Listen, that's not a hard one to be right about, Mackey.
No, that's not hard at all. Nobody knew what they were doing.
Everyone who's ever played a single snap of football or watched a single snap of football understands that's not a good idea.
Dude, I remember watching it. I go, what is he doing? Is he really just going to run this?
As soon as he took off with it, I was like, oh, game's over.
You're an idiot.
Ball game.
Amazing. Well, there you go. So the Eagles maybe have become so great at quarterback sneaks that the league is going to lash out and get rid of it at some point. And Tom Brady at age 44, 45 can still sneak into an A gap near you. And college quarterbacks, maybe take some reps at practice with your hand on the back of a sweaty center's ass so you don't wind up pulling a Josh Allen.
Can I end it with a funny quarterback center story?
Oh, please do.
So Chris Watt, 3rd-round pick out of Notre Dame, coming to San Diego, was arguably the sweatiest human being I've ever met in my entire life. Phillip Rivers used to make him stuff 3 Gatorade towels, not the small ones, the big ones, down his ass for practice. Like he would, and they'd have to swap him out like during practice. Like every break, he'd be like, "Hey, Chris, go get yourself a new towel." And he'd run over there, and you'd see the training staff just stuffing a towel down there because he was like, his hand was so gross and sweaty. It was hysterical. He's like, "Chris, why are you so sweaty?" He's like, he's a rookie, right? Phillip Rivers screaming at him, "Put a towel in there." So every time you saw him on tape, you looked like he just had a giant back fat roll because it was just a giant Gatorade towel rolled up the entire season. It was so funny.
This was when Garrett Bradbury was drafted by the Vikings like 4 years ago. This was a big conversation at OTAs and training camps, and Kirk Cousins was trying to be diplomatic about it, but he's like, "Yeah, we're working on some things. Garrett's a pretty sweaty guy back there." So it's because I think the media was wondering during training camp, "God, you had like 3 fumbles at practice today," and Kirk was like, "I got to be better, but my center also has hyperhidrosis and could maybe use a trip to a specialist."
Hey, Gatorade towels, man, just soak it all up.
Amazing. So, all right, there you go. There's your deep dive into the life of quarterback sneaks here on the O-Line Committee. Subscribe, and if you could also click the like button to help spread the word about this offensive line lifestyle show. See you guys.